Rome is one of the most exciting cities in the world. It is full of history, amazing buildings, and fun things to do. People visit from all over to see ancient ruins, beautiful churches, and famous fountains. But Rome is not just about old places. It also has cool museums, busy markets, and even secret spots that many tourists don't know about. In this video, we are going to cover best things to do in Rome, Italy. Colosseum. The Colosseum in Rome, Italy, is a giant stadium that was built a long time ago, around 80 AD. It's one of the biggest and most famous places from ancient times that you can still see today. This huge building was used for games and shows where gladiators, who were fighters, would battle against each other or wild animals. Sometimes these fights were to the death. The Colosseum is round and it could hold about 50,000 people who came to watch the shows. People sat in seats that went up and around the center where the fights happened. Kind of like in a modern sports stadium, the better your seat, the more important you were. The very important people sat closest to the action. This place is very old and some parts are broken because it's been so many years, but it still looks really powerful and amazing. Today, many people from all over the world visit the Colosseum to learn about its history and see where all those ancient events took place. Vatican museums. The Vatican Museums are a group of art galleries in the Vatican City, which is a small, special area in Rome where the Pope lives. These museums have a huge collection of art and historical items collected by the popes over many years. They include some of the most important and beautiful art pieces in the world. One of the coolest parts of the Vatican Museums is the Sistine Chapel. This famous chapel has a ceiling painted by Michelangelo, who was a great artist from Italy. He painted many pictures on the ceiling, including one very famous scene called The Creation of Adam, which shows God reaching out to touch Adam's hand. People from all over the world come to see these museums and the beautiful art inside them. The artworks tell stories from the Bible, show important people from history, and display different cultures. It's like walking through a giant book of history and art that you can look at and learn from. St. Peter's Basilica. St. Peter's Basilica is one of the largest and most famous churches in the world. It's located in Vatican City, right next to Rome. This church is very special because it is considered the main church for many Christians, especially Catholics. The church was built a long time ago, starting in 1506, and it took over 100 years to finish it. Some of the best artists and architects helped to create it, including Michelangelo and Bernini. They made sure it looked beautiful and grand. Inside St. Peter's Basilica, there is a lot of art to see, like statues and paintings that are very old and important. The church is also very big inside. It can fit many thousands of people at one time. Above all, the dome of the church is huge and you can see it from far away in Rome. People visit St. Peter's Basilica not just to pray, but also to look at its amazing design and art. It is a place where history, art, and religion come together, making it a special spot for visitors. Roman Forum. The Roman Forum is an open area in Rome filled with old ruins that were once the center of the city. Long ago, this place was bustling with activity. It was where important meetings, markets, and religious ceremonies happened. Imagine walking through a busy downtown area today. That's what the Roman Forum was like in ancient times. In the Roman Forum, there are remains of many important buildings. You can see parts of old temples where people went to worship their gods. There are also ruins of government buildings where leaders made laws and discussed how to run the city. Some of the paths and stones you walk on are the very same ones that people walked on thousands of years ago. Visiting the Roman Forum is like stepping back in time. You get to walk around and see the places where ancient Romans lived their daily lives. It helps you understand how they lived, what they believed, and how they governed themselves. This makes the Roman Forum not just a bunch of old rocks, but a place full of stories from the past. Trevi Fountain. The Trevi Fountain is a very large and beautiful fountain in Rome. It was finished in 1762 and is famous for its stunning design. The fountain shows Neptune, who is the god of the sea in Roman mythology, riding a chariot that looks like a shell and is pulled by seahorses. Around him there are other figures that look like they are from the sea too. The fountain is not just famous for how it looks, but also for a fun tradition. People believe that if you throw a coin into the water over your shoulder, it means you will come back to Rome someday. This tradition is so popular that every day many coins are thrown into the fountain. The money collected from the fountain is used to help people in need, so when visitors throw their coins, they are also helping others. The Trevi Fountain is not only a beautiful place to see, but also a spot where you can make a wish for the future. It is one of the most loved places in Rome by tourists. Pantheon. The Pantheon is a very old and famous building in Rome. It was first built as a temple where ancient Romans could worship all their gods. The name Pantheon actually means all the gods. It was rebuilt around 126 AD by the Emperor Hadrian and has been standing ever since. What makes the Pantheon really special is its giant dome. The dome has a big hole at the top called an oculus, which means eye in Latin. This hole is the only source of light inside the dome, and it creates a beautiful light effect inside the building. The dome of the Pantheon is so perfectly made that it's still the world's largest unreinforced concrete dome even today. Inside the Pantheon, there are tombs where some important Italian people are buried, including the famous artist Raphael. When you walk inside, it feels both grand and peaceful at the same time. The Pantheon is not just an old building, it's a masterpiece of engineering and architecture that has lasted through the ages. It's free to go inside, which makes it a great place for everyone to visit and learn about ancient Rome. Spanish Steps. The Spanish Steps are a famous set of stairs in Rome that connect the lower Piazza di Spagna with the upper Piazza Trinità dei Monti. These steps were built between 1723 and 1725 and are a popular spot for both tourists and locals to hang out and enjoy the view. The steps get their name from the Spanish embassy that is located in the square below them. There are 135 steps in total, and they are decorated with beautiful flowers during the spring and summer months, which makes them even more picturesque. At the top of the Spanish Steps, you can visit the Trinità dei Monti church, which has a lovely facade and offers a great view of the city below. The steps themselves are often a place where people sit and take a break, chat with friends, or just watch the busy city life around them. The area around the Spanish Steps is also known for its fancy shops and cafes. It's a great place to do some window shopping or grab a gelato on a warm day. Visiting the Spanish Steps is a fun experience that lets you see a lively and beautiful part of Rome. Piazza Navona. Piazza Navona is one of the most beautiful and vibrant squares in Rome. It was built on the site of an ancient Roman stadium where races and games used to take place. Today, it's known for its stunning Baroque architecture and art. The square is famous for its 3 magnificent fountains. The central and largest fountain is the Fountain of the Four Rivers, designed by Gian Lorenzo Bernini. It features statues of 4 river gods, representing the 4 major rivers of the continents where Christianity had spread during Bernini's time: the Nile, Danube, Ganges, and Rio de la Plata. Around the square, there are many restaurants and cafes where people can sit and enjoy the lively atmosphere. Artists often come to Piazza Navona to paint and sell their artwork, adding to the creative and bustling vibe. Visitors also like to watch street performers, buy souvenirs, and enjoy gelato while soaking in the beauty of the surrounding buildings and the vibrant life of the square. Piazza Navona is not just a place to see, it's a place to experience the energy and history of Rome. Villa Borghese Gardens. Villa Borghese Gardens is one of the largest public parks in Rome. It covers a huge area and offers a peaceful escape from the busy city. This garden is like a big green playground where both locals and tourists come to relax, play, and explore. Inside the gardens, you can find a lot of different things to see and do. There are beautiful fountains, statues, and well-kept flower beds. There's also a lake where you can rent a boat and row around for a bit. This makes it a fun spot for families or anyone who wants to enjoy a bit of nature. Besides the natural beauty, there are several museums within the park. One of the most famous is the Borghese Gallery, which has a collection of art that includes works by masters like Caravaggio and Bernini. Villa Borghese Gardens is perfect for walking, biking, or having a picnic. There are also places to play sports or just sit on a bench and read a book. It's a beautiful part of Rome that offers something for everyone. Castel Sant'Angelo. Castel Sant'Angelo, also known as the Mausoleum of Hadrian, is a towering cylindrical building in Rome. It was originally built as a tomb for Emperor Hadrian and his family in the year 139 AD, but later transformed into a fortress and castle by the popes. This historic structure is located near the Vatican and has been a part of Rome's landscape for centuries. Over the years, it served many purposes, from a fortress to a papal residence, a prison, and now a museum. The building's thick walls and strategic position along the Tiber River made it an important defensive fort for the popes during times of war. Visitors to Castel Sant'Angelo can explore various chambers, corridors, and richly decorated rooms that tell the story of its past. One of the highlights is the terrace, where you can enjoy a breathtaking view of Rome, including St. Peter's Basilica. The castle is also famous for the Passetto di Borgo, a secret corridor that runs from the Vatican to the castle. This passage was used by popes in the past to escape in times of danger. Castel Sant'Angelo is not just a castle, it's a symbol of Rome's history and resilience. Campo dei Fiori Market. Campo dei Fiori Market is a bustling outdoor market in the heart of Rome. The name Campo dei Fiori translates to Field of Flowers, which is fitting because it was once a meadow. Today it's known for its lively atmosphere and colorful stalls. This market is the place to go if you want to experience the local life of Rome. Every morning except Sundays, vendors set up their stalls and sell a variety of items ranging from fresh fruits and vegetables to spices, flowers, and local specialties. You can find some of the freshest produce and unique Italian ingredients here, making it a paradise for food lovers. Besides food, Campo dei Fiori Market also offers other goods like clothes, accessories, and souvenirs. It's a great spot to pick up some gifts or treats for yourself. Walking around the market, you can hear vendors shouting out their prices and offering samples, which adds to the vibrant and friendly atmosphere. In the evenings, the market area transforms into a social hub, with people gathering at the nearby restaurants and bars. Campo dei Fiori is not just a market, it's a key part of Rome's daily life and culture. Capitoline Museums. The Capitoline Museums are a group of art and archaeological museums in Piazza del Campidoglio, on top of Capitoline Hill in Rome. These museums are considered some of the oldest public museums in the world, having been founded in 1471 when Pope Sixtus IV donated a collection of important ancient sculptures to the people of Rome. The museums are spread across 3 main buildings surrounding the central square, designed by the famous artist Michelangelo. They house a vast collection of art and artifacts that tell the story of Rome, from ancient times to the Renaissance. Highlights include the famous statues of the Capitoline Wolf, which symbolizes Rome's foundation story, and the original statue of Marcus Aurelius on horseback. Visitors can also see intricate mosaics, precious jewels, coins, and other treasures that offer a glimpse into the daily lives and spiritual beliefs of ancient Romans. The museums not only showcase art, but also provide stunning views of the Roman Forum from their windows, making the visit a visually spectacular experience. The Capitoline Museums are a treasure trove for those interested in history and art, providing a deep dive into the rich cultural heritage of Rome. Galleria Borghese. The Galleria Borghese is a special art museum in Rome, located in the Villa Borghese Gardens. It was once a private house where a rich man named Scipione Borghese kept his collection of beautiful art. Now it's a place where everyone can see these amazing works. This museum has some really cool sculptures and paintings. One of the famous artists whose work is here is Gian Lorenzo Bernini. He made sculptures that look so real, like they could move. Another artist you'll find here is Caravaggio, who was great at painting pictures that tell dramatic stories with light and shadow. The Galleria Borghese isn't very big, but it has some of the best art in Rome. You need to get a ticket before you go, because they only let a few people in at a time. This makes it nice and quiet when you're looking at the art. Visiting this museum is like getting a peek into a treasure box full of art that shows how people a long time ago liked to decorate their homes and tell stories with pictures. Appian Way. The Appian Way is a famous ancient road in Rome. It was one of the earliest and most important roads built by the Romans over 2,300 years ago. It starts in Rome and goes all the way to the city of Brindisi in southeast Italy, helping people travel and move goods back then. Today, the Appian Way is a popular place for people to walk, bike, and see some cool old stuff. Along the road, you can find ruins of ancient buildings, monuments, and even catacombs, which are underground burial places where early Christians were laid to rest. The road itself is made of large stones, and walking on it feels like you are stepping back in time. Trees line the road, making it a beautiful place for a peaceful walk away from the busy city. Visitors love coming to the Appian Way because it's not just a road, it's a piece of history that shows how smart and skilled the ancient Romans were at building things that could last for centuries. Piazza del Popolo. Piazza del Popolo is a large square in Rome where three major streets meet. The name Piazza del Popolo means People's Square in Italian. It's a big open space with an Egyptian obelisk standing right in the middle. This obelisk is very old and was brought to Rome from Egypt about 2,000 years ago. Around the square there are important buildings and churches. One of the churches, Santa Maria del Popolo, has beautiful artworks inside, including paintings and sculptures by famous artists. The square is also framed by two identical churches that look like twins. People like to visit Piazza del Popolo because it's a great starting point for walking down Rome's famous shopping street, Via del Corso. The square itself is also a popular place for gatherings, concerts, and events, especially during holidays or festivals. From the square, you can walk up to a hill called the Pincian Hill. From the top, you get a wonderful view of the entire square and much of Rome. It's a beautiful place to see how the old and new parts of the city come together. Palatine Hill. Palatine Hill is one of the 7 hills of Rome and is one of the most ancient parts of the city. It stands 40 meters above the Roman Forum, giving a commanding view of the surrounding areas. Long ago, it was the place where Rome's rich and powerful people built their large homes. According to Roman mythology, Palatine Hill is also where Romulus founded the city of Rome and where the famous story of Romulus and Remus, the twin brothers raised by a she-wolf, takes place. This makes it a site full of legends and history. Today, when you visit Palatine Hill, you can see the ruins of old palaces and gardens. These were the homes of emperors and important figures thousands of years ago. As you walk around, you can see beautiful mosaics and frescoes that are still part of the ruins, which tell us about the luxurious lives of those who once lived there. Visiting Palatine Hill is like stepping into a different time. It gives you a glimpse of ancient Rome's grandeur and an incredible view of the city, including the Colosseum and the Roman Forum. Testaccio. Testaccio is a neighborhood in Rome that is famous for its authentic Roman spirit and culinary delights. It's a bit off the usual tourist path, which makes it a great place for those who want to experience the city like a local. The area has a rich history that goes back to ancient Rome. It was once the city's trade and warehouse district, and the remains of old pottery jars, known as amphorae, used to transport olive oil and wine, can still be found here. These shards helped build a hill in the neighborhood called Monte Testaccio. Today, Testaccio is known for its lively market, Mercato Testaccio, where locals shop for fresh produce, meats, and traditional Italian dishes. The neighborhood is also home to some of the best places to eat in Rome, offering everything from classic Roman pasta dishes to modern Italian cuisine. For those interested in nightlife, Testaccio has a variety of bars and clubs where you can enjoy live music and dance until the early hours. This neighborhood truly offers a taste of the real Rome, combining history, food, and fun in one vibrant area. Trastevere. Trastevere is a charming and lively neighborhood in Rome that is known for its narrow cobblestone streets, colorful buildings, and vibrant nightlife. The name Trastevere means across the Tiber, referring to its location on the west bank of the Tiber River, opposite the central city districts. Trastevere has a bohemian feel, with ivy-covered walls, artisan shops, and small squares filled with people at all hours. It's especially famous for its traditional Roman restaurants and cozy cafes where locals and tourists alike gather to enjoy delicious food and a friendly atmosphere. The heart of Trastevere is the Piazza di Santa Maria, centered around the Basilica of Santa Maria in Trastevere, one of the oldest churches in Rome. The piazza is always bustling with activity and is a popular meeting place for both young people and families. During the day, the neighborhood is perfect for a leisurely stroll, shopping in unique boutiques, or grabbing a gelato. At night, Trastevere comes alive with people enjoying the many bars and clubs that offer live music and entertainment. This neighborhood is a favorite for anyone looking to experience the authentic, lively side of Roman life. Circus Maximus. Circus Maximus is a huge ancient stadium in Rome. Long ago, it was used for chariot races, where chariots pulled by horses raced around a track. It was one of the first and biggest stadiums in ancient Rome, and could hold about 150,000 people. That's a lot of people, almost like filling up 2 big modern sports stadiums today. The stadium was built in a long oval shape, with a track for the races and seats all around it. People from all over Rome would come to watch the exciting races and cheer for their favorite teams. It was was a very popular sport back then, just like soccer or baseball is for us now. Today, what you see of Circus Maximus is mostly just a large open field because most of the stadium has worn away over time. But you can still see the shape of the track and where people used to sit. People now visit to walk around, fly kites, or just relax in the big open space where ancient Romans once watched thrilling chariot races. Baths of Caracalla. The Baths of Caracalla are the ruins of a huge bath complex in Rome that was built around 1,800 years ago. This place was not just for bathing, it was like a big leisure center where ancient Romans came to relax, exercise, and meet with friends. The Baths of Caracalla were really large and could hold over 1,600 people at once. Inside there were hot baths, cold baths, and even steam rooms, similar to the saunas we have today. People could swim, get massages, and take care of their bodies. There were also gardens, shops, and spaces for art and learning. The walls and floors were decorated with beautiful mosaics and statues, making it a very fancy place. Even though the baths are now in ruins, you can still see parts of the tall walls and some of the floor designs that show how grand it used to be. Visitors today walk through the ruins and can feel how big and special this place was for the people of ancient Rome. It's like walking through a piece of history where people long ago spent their days relaxing and having fun. Ostia Antica. Ostia Antica is an ancient city near Rome that used to be the seaport for the ancient Romans. Over time, the coastline moved and now it's not by the sea anymore. This place is like a smaller version of Pompeii because it has many well-kept ruins that show what life was like a long time ago. When you visit Ostia Antica, you can walk along the old streets just like people did thousands of years ago. You can see the remains of houses, shops, and even a theater where plays were performed. There's a large bathhouse where Romans used to relax and beautiful mosaics are still on the ground. Ostia Antica also has an old marketplace where traders from different parts of the world would sell their goods. This place gives you a peek into the past and shows how people in ancient times worked, played, and lived their daily lives. Visiting Ostia Antica is like stepping back in time and seeing an ancient city that once buzzed with life right near the hustle and bustle of modern Rome. San Clemente Basilica. San Clemente Basilica is a unique church in Rome that is built on top of several layers of history. When you go inside, it's like going down into a time machine because there are 3 levels and each one is from a different time period. The top level is a beautiful church that is still used today. It has pretty paintings and mosaics that shine and sparkle. The middle level has the ruins of an even older church from about 1,500 years ago. You can see parts of the walls and floors from this ancient church, but the journey doesn't stop there. If you go down even further, you find the oldest level, which has buildings from ancient Roman times. There's even a mysterious temple that was used long before the churches were built. Visiting San Clemente Basilica is really special because it lets you see and walk through different times of history all in one place. It shows how the city of Rome has changed and grown over thousands of years. Maxi Museum. The Maxi Museum in Rome is a place where you can see modern art and cool buildings designed by a famous architect named Zaha Hadid. The museum looks very different from the old buildings you usually see in Rome because it has lots of curves and sharp angles, making it look futuristic. Inside, the Maxi Museum shows art and designs from today's world. It has paintings, sculptures, and even things like videos and installations, which are like art pieces you can walk around and sometimes interact with. The museum also talks about architecture, which means it shows how buildings and cities can be designed in new and interesting ways. Visiting the Maxi Museum is fun because it gives you a break from the ancient stuff and lets you see what artists are making right now. It's like a glimpse into the future of art and building design, showing you what things might look like in years to come. Cinecittà Studios. Cinecittà Studios in Rome is a famous movie studio where many movies and TV shows are made. It's like Hollywood in Italy. This place has been around since 1937, and big movies like Roman Holiday were filmed here. The studios have different sets that look like ancient Rome or even faraway places. You can take a tour and see where directors, actors, and film crews work to create stories for the screen. Visiting Cinecittà Studios is exciting because you get to see behind the scenes of how movies are made and maybe even feel like a movie star for a day. Janiculum Hill, Gianicolo. Janiculum Hill, also called Gianicolo, is a tall hill in Rome that gives you a great view of the whole city. It's not one of the famous 7 hills of Rome, because it's a bit outside the ancient city area, but it's a perfect spot to see everything from above. There are big statues and a big fountain, and every day at noon, they fire a cannon which is really loud and surprises a lot of people. It's a fun place to walk up to, have a picnic, and watch the sunset over Rome's beautiful buildings. Quartier Coppedè. Quartier Coppedè is a small and unusual area in Rome that looks like a fairy tale come to life. This neighborhood isn't very big, but it's full of interesting buildings that mix different styles, like medieval castles, Greek temples, and even parts that look like they're from a fantasy story. The buildings and arches have lots of decorations with flowers, animals, and mythical creatures. When you walk through Quartier Coppedè, it feels like you've stepped into a different world. The area is quiet and not as crowded as other parts of Rome, so it's a peaceful place to explore and see something really different from the usual old ruins and churches. It's like a hidden gem that shows a playful side of architecture. Crypta Balbi. Crypta Balbi is a museum in Rome that takes you beneath the city to explore what life was like long ago. It's part of the National Roman Museum and shows you the remains of a theater from ancient times called the Theater of Balbus. The museum isn't just about looking at old things, it also explains how Rome changed over the centuries. As you go through the museum, you can see different layers of history from when Rome was a powerful city, through the Middle Ages and up to modern times. There are artifacts like pottery, coins, and tools that people used every day. Crypta Balbi helps you see how people lived, worked, and played in Rome over thousands of years, making history come alive right under your feet. Domus Aurea. Domus Aurea, also called the Golden House, was a huge palace built by Emperor Nero in ancient Rome. He built it after a great fire destroyed much of the city in 64 AD. The palace was very large and covered parts of what are now famous places like the Colosseum and the Roman Forum. It had golden walls, marble floors, and even a man-made lake. Nero's palace was one of the most beautiful places in Rome at the time. There were huge rooms, colorful frescoes, and even a rotating dining room. The walls and ceilings were decorated with gold and jewels, which made the palace shine in the sunlight. After Nero died, later rulers buried the palace under new buildings because they did not want to remember him. Today, visitors can tour the underground ruins of Domus Aurea. Many of the frescoes and decorations are still visible. The site is still being studied and restored, but people can walk through and see how grand the palace once was. It is an amazing look into ancient Roman art and architecture. Santa Prassede. Santa Prassede is a beautiful and historic church in Rome. It is not as famous as other churches in the city, but it has some of the most amazing mosaics from ancient times. The church was built in the 9th century and is dedicated to Saint Praxedes, a woman who helped early Christians during a time when they were being treated unfairly. Inside the church, the walls and ceilings are covered with golden mosaics. These mosaics show religious scenes with bright colors and tiny pieces of glass that shine in the light. One of the most special parts of the church is the chapel of Saint Zeno. This small chapel is completely covered in gold and blue mosaics, making it look magical. Santa Prassede is also known for having an important relic. It is said to hold part of the pillar where Jesus was whipped before his crucifixion. Many people visit to pray and admire the peaceful atmosphere. This church is a hidden treasure in Rome, full of history and breathtaking artwork. Teatro di Marcello. Teatro di Marcello is an ancient theater in Rome that looks a little like the Colosseum, but it is much older. It was built by Emperor Augustus more than 2,000 years ago and was named after his nephew, Marcellus. This theater was a place where Romans came to watch plays, music performances, and other events. It could hold about 15,000 people, making it one of the biggest theaters in ancient Rome. The theater was built using strong stone and had large arches, which helped hold up the seating area. Over time, parts of the building were damaged, and people built houses on top of it. That is why today, if you look closely, you will see apartments built right above the ancient ruins. Visitors can walk around the outside of the theater and see how well the ancient structure has survived. At night, the lights make it look even more beautiful. Even though people no longer use it for plays, Teatro di Marcello still stands as a reminder of how important entertainment was in ancient Rome. Tiber Island, Isola Tiberina. Tiber Island, or Isola Tiberina, is the only island in the middle of the Tiber River in Rome. It looks like a boat and has a long history as a place of healing because it houses one of the oldest hospitals in Italy. Long ago, people believed that the island had special powers to cure sickness. The island connects to the rest of Rome with two bridges that are very old. One of the bridges, called Ponte Fabricio, has been there since ancient times. On the island, there's also a beautiful church named Basilica of St. Bartholomew. It was built to honor a saint and is a peaceful place to visit. Visiting Tiber Island gives you a chance to see a different and quieter side of Rome, with pretty views of the river and lots of history to discover. Caracalla's Night. Caracalla's Night is a special event that happens in the summer at the Baths of Caracalla in Rome. During this event, people come to watch opera performances right where ancient Romans used to bathe and relax. The ruins of the baths turn into a big outdoor theater with lights and music. Opera is a type of play where everyone sings instead of talks, and the stories are usually very dramatic and exciting. Watching an opera at Caracalla's Night is fun because you get to see and hear the performance among old, giant walls under the stars. It's a magical experience because the music and the historical place mix together, making it feel like you are part of a very old and beautiful story. This event is a favorite for many because it combines history, music, and the warm summer night. So this was all about today's video. Do let us know your thoughts and comments. Please subscribe to Travel the World. Thank you for watching.